All right, y'all. We got Pat is back. Acho and Shady react to Chiefs' dominant win over the Lions.
About the,
I do think Pat is in the MVP race. Do I think he's a front runner? No, but I do think he has a shot trajectory wise. But we shall see.
Sunday night
Time will
game.
tell.
The Chiefs dominate the Lions at home 30-17. Patrick Mahomes looking like the MVP that we know he is, looking like one of the best players in the entire world, like we know he is. To start off here today, what type of statement did they make out there tonight?
I think the Chiefs always remind you that you cannot forget about them. The moment you start to feel like, the Chiefs have lost it. Chiefs still have a losing record after 5 weeks. The Chiefs are sitting at 2-3. How are the Chiefs ever going to bounce back? The moment you ever feel like you can forget about the Chiefs remind you why they went to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. The Chiefs remind you why they were on the verge of three-peating. The Chiefs remind you why Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks that's ever lived. The Chiefs remind you why Andy Reid is legitimately the best coach that's ever lived. Travis Kelce reminds you why he is indeed a first ballot Hall of Famer. And also shout out to Chris Jones for stepping up to the plate. He got called out after last game. In this game, he did make an impact. I believe he may have had registered half a sack. If not, at least he was responsible for a many huge sacks. So the Chiefs really reminded us why they are still considered a championship caliber team. And you have to consider them a championship caliber team for the foreseeable future.
This is why I can never count the Chiefs out, because they find ways to win, right?
I said it last week, even after they lost last week. It's nothing to stress about. If the Chiefs lose early in the season, I'm really not too concerned how many games they lose. They started off 0-2. I wasn't concerned. It's just like it is what it is. Like we're gonna see what they really are at the end of the season. There's no way we don't see the Chiefs making the playoffs, even if it was hypothetically as a wild card team. They're getting in the playoffs.
Talk about the Lions coming in town. Everybody's so hype on them. Really, really good team.
And if they get in the playoffs, that's all they need to do, because then they got a shot to the Super Bowl. They just one of them teams.
Experience, explosive on the offensive side. They find ways to get turnovers. At times they get pressure. But the Chiefs just kind of dominate this whole game. If you watch the game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, the Chiefs dominated. They look like the old Chiefs. They found ways to take shots, convert on third downs. Kelce found ways to get in the mix. Patrick Mahomes look like the old Patrick Mahomes. I can never count out the Chiefs, man. That's why I still think that they're still the top team in the AFC, because they are the Chiefs.
And you know what's crazy is the Chiefs beat you in your mind before they ever beat you on the field. What Dan Campbell said was, we got to go out there and we got to get 30 points in order to beat the Chiefs. That's why Dan Campbell and the Lions at the goal line in the first possession of the game, they're sputtering, they're figuring things out, they're running fake plays, all because of the fear of the Chiefs. The Chiefs haven't done anything this year to put fear in your eyes, but because of the presence of the Chiefs, because of the presence of Andy Reid, because of the threat of what Patrick Mahomes is capable of doing, now all of a sudden, the Detroit Lions, you're down there at the goal line and you're doing things that are very uncharacteristic. And so, like Shady said, the Chiefs really dominated this game. And I think the most important thing that has to be said, the running game finally looked competent.
Yes.
Like Patrick Mahomes has led the team in rushing this season, but has led the team in rushing far too many games.
Crazy.
Isaiah Pacheco, 51 yards on only 12 carries. That's a winning caliber performance. Kareem Hunt, 23 yards on 6 carries. You're talking about 18 carries for a total of 74 yards. The Chiefs can win with that. Mahomes will give you his 20 to 30, 100 yards. The Chiefs can win with that when they get that 100 yards cumulatively. So I love what the Chiefs were able to do. Obviously, the Lions secondary is banged up, but the Chiefs, it's crazy as it is to say, because I think they're only sitting at 3-3. The Chiefs are still a top 3 team in the AFC.
But it's still early, though. That's another thing. It's like they had a lot of hard teams they played against, right? When you win a lot of games, you get harder schedules. That's how it works. But it's still early. They're still kind of gelling, getting each other together. I think the Chiefs, we're going to see them in the playoffs this year doing what they do best, and that's win games, because the Chiefs win. If you watch this game, the way they played the Lions, first of all, you can tell it's 2 top elite teams because they both are going for it. Fourth downs, we got to go for it. We got to make sure that the defense, right, we dominate. We don't know if our defense can hold up. All I'm saying is it's hard to have that experience. It's hard to have that winning it factors that the Chiefs have. And no matter how bad they look at times, they don't look as explosive, they lose close games. No matter what it is, they find ways to win. Like right now, they're sitting at 3-3 and they're 2-1 at home. Y'all telling me y'all don't think that the Chiefs is going, at the end of this thing, going to be at the top of the tournament?
And that's what's crazy.
You get what I'm saying?
That's what's crazy.
As bad as they look right now, nobody would bet that, you know what, I don't think the Chiefs is going to go far in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
That's what's
They
crazy.
look like they've
Come
continuously
on.
got better, though, as well. Like, even last week with the Jags, they shouldn't have lost that game. They shouldn't have lost that game. They made too
They
many
should have not
mistakes
lost that
at the end
game.
of that game. But even we were watching it, we were saying, man, Pat out here dealing.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes looks back to MVP form, back to 2023 Patrick Mahomes right now. He's been unbelievable.
Bro, you know what's crazy? If we're being honest, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, number one, I lost my voice. Number two, it's a chill Sunday. If we're being honest, this may have been the most impressive win any team has had this season, all things considered. Why I'm saying that, the Detroit Lions were blatantly a top 3 team in football going into this game.
4-1,
Had the longest win streak in all of football, 4-1. Their only loss was week 1, first game with a new offensive coordinator. And the Chiefs not only dominated, they dominated that game handily. Patrick Mahomes, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. You get 100+ rushing yards collectively between your 2 running backs and Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce has a season-high 78 receiving yards. You get some dimes in there dealt to Juju Smith-Schuster. Xavier Worthy made a couple plays here, a couple plays there. Hollywood Brown, he did his thing. So if you really factor in all things considered, this Chiefs win over the Detroit Lions was probably the most impressive win by any team all season, given how good Detroit is.
Ooh, that was actually what I wanted to ask you guys next. Detroit, I have questions about Detroit. In my opinion, when you look at their record, they look a little fraudulent. I'll be honest, they do look a little bit fraudulent. Their wins are over the Browns, they're over the Bengals, they're over. I believe their other one was over the Ravens, who aren't a good team right now. The 2 good teams that they played,
Interesting.
the Packers and the Chiefs, they lost by double digits to those teams. So I was gonna
Interesting.
ask y'all, are y'all disappointed in the Lions? Do you think that this is who the Lions really are, or was it just a bad night for them?
I have to say this, man. I'll let Oscar go first. I don't know what is with these Cowboy fans, man.
What? Oh my gosh!
Like, what
But that is a respectable take he just made. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's very interesting.
you mean that they're a fraudulent team?
I don't think they frauds, for sure. But again, that is interesting considering who they beat and who they lost to. You know what I mean?
They're as good as maybe their record indicates.
But you gonna tell me
They
how
haven't
the
beaten good
Cowboys
teams.
is a good?
But time will tell.
You know what? You can talk to him.
Here's why
Come on, man.
I won't call the Lions fraudulent, because if the Lions are fraudulent, every team outside of the Buffalo Bills are fraudulent. You know what I mean? Even the Buffalo Bills lost to the Patriots, albeit the Patriots are sitting at 500 if I'm not mistaken now. The NFL is about as clustered as it's ever been through 6 weeks of football. And who's the best team in the NFC? Eagles? Well, the Eagles are coming off of 2 atrocious losses. The Lions? Well, the Lions, they just lost to the Chiefs. The Bucks lost to the Eagles, and they really got blew out by the Eagles, if not for Baker Mayfield trying to come back later in that game. Who's the best team in the NFC? The Rams? The Rams got 2 losses, and they didn't even look good versus the Ravens today. Who's the best team in the NFC? I don't know. In the AFC, who's the best team? The Bills? Oh, you mean the same Bills team that just lost to the Patriots? The Chargers? Oh, you mean the Chargers that lost to the Giants? The Chiefs? Oh, you mean the Chiefs that are at 500?
Sounds like parity in the league.
1,000%.
Yeah.
And so given how much parity there is in the game of football right now, if you beat a 4-1 team, particularly a 4-1 team with a really good track record like the Detroit Lions over the last 2 years, it's a gigantic victory. Well,
it's still early in the year. It's really hard to see who's really good, who's really bad, just because how early it is, other than I think the obvious teams. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I was about to say that. We know the obvious teams who are good. And I think the Lions are an obvious team that's good. I don't I don't see much to worry about with them, down the road. Like is there a question mark if the Lions are going to make the playoffs? I think the shoe-in teams will make the playoffs. The team, like the typical teams who did last year and who've been going consistently, they're going to make the playoffs regardless of how everything goes. And you may have your, select few who have good records right now. Like the ones who, again, are not like the ones who are having good seasons right now, but weren't having good seasons last year. There are some who we might not see in the playoff conversation by the end of the year.
I truly think that the Lions, they're not a fraudulent team. They're a good team. They play good ball. They've been playing good ball this year, last year, the year before that. They coach very well, and they're determined. I can't sit there and disrespect the Lions like that. They're a good team.
Let me ask you this, 2-5, because this is interesting. Are the Lions the best? Who's the best team in the NFC right now?
Eagles?
Disregard the Eagles.
Bucks,
you have to say the Eagles.
Bucks.
Your jersey's in the Hall of Fame there.
No. It's not because of that. They're the defending champs. We're making a whole big deal about a team that dropped 2.
Yeah,
right?
back to back.
Back to back, but I mean, they're a good team. Look at the roster. You look at what they've done. I always talk about like when does the resume matter?
Okay.
A team that struggled early last year, found a way to get it together, and then they start rolling. Why can't they do the same? If I did it before, why can't I do it the same?
So right now, two best teams in football, you would still say are Eagles and Chiefs?
This is why I would say, like, this is how you could determine if a team is really, really good, right?
Okay.
If I said, okay, Acho, you had to pick from the NFC side. If you had to take your whatever money you got in your account, and you had to pick a team.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable putting your money on the Eagles to come out the NFC? Or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that.
AFC, right? I would say I feel safe to put my money on either the Chiefs or the Bills.
Yeah, 1,000%.
You get what I'm saying?
1,000%.
That's how you make and know, okay, who would you put your money on? If you had
I put it on the Chiefs, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I like the Chiefs defense better. And if they can click offensively, how they've been doing, I can see them beating the Bills. But, in the playoffs, we'll see if it's really the Bills' year or not.
Yeah.
If the mortgage was on the line, you know what I mean? If I had to spend money to get my son back or my daughter back, what are you going to do? And I'm putting all my money on the Chiefs and the Bills, and I put my money on the Eagles.
Yo, I hope my kid's future isn't dependent on Jalen Hurts.
Wow.
I just
You
hope
don't,
not.
you hope not?
I hope not.
I hope
Interesting.
I don't get that. See, that's funny you say that.
I hope not. It's
Because
a lot of
That's
trust to
interesting.
put in Jalen.
But when you look at a player that's done the things he's done in such a short time, think about it though. Like he had moments like this last year where he might have didn't play well and throw the ball well. And you know what happened?
Yeah.
It ended up in confetti.
You're right.
You get what I'm saying?
He's not wrong about
Yeah,
that.
you're not wrong about that.
What you got for us, Kid?
I got a
keep
better
it-
one for y'all real quick. Because Baker Mayfield is playing phenomenal.
Yeah.
Playing phenomenal right now. If you ask the world, who would you put your money on? Right? Baker Mayfield and the Bucks to do what they gonna do? Or Jalen Hurts and the Eagles to do what they gonna do? Everybody's gonna take the safe bet.
I mean, obviously we're gonna take the Eagles because they won a Super Bowl last year and went to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. So I mean, yeah, that reasonable.
The Eagles.
We could ask the chat.
I mean, we could ask the chat. We could ask the
I'm
chat.
saying if you had
In
that
big
one,
2025?
wait, one quarterback to take out to the promised land. If I had one quarterback to take me to the Super Bowl out of Jalen Hurts or Baker Mayfield, right? Because Baker Mayfield, he looks great right now.
Yeah.
Now, if you're talking about team, I'm going. Like if I have to like pick a shoe in, I'm going with the Eagles. But if you're talking about in the NFC, if you're talking about just quarterback, obviously right now Baker's playing better than Jalen Hurts, obviously. Because he kind of switched it. First he was saying the team, and then now he just said the QB's names.
He looked good last year, though.
Yeah.
The last 3 years, he's really been looking good.
Hard for me to trust the Eagles right now. But I mean, you could say the same thing about the Chiefs. I mean, they're 3-3. Say the same thing about them. It's hard to trust them right now. But I think we put a broader lens on this and look at a little bit of what they've done historically in the past few years. I think it's just in historically of how the league works. Typically, the top teams aren't really. It's not if they're having problems early on. Typically, they figure it out a little later. Now, if they're having problems like mid-season, take a little bit, but I think they'll figure most of the stuff out by the time playoffs come. I think it's fine. And again, I think they're shoe in for playoffs. Again, and if I had to put money on somebody going to the Super Bowl, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like he said, the safe pick would be the Eagles for me. Eagles got more problems than the Chiefs, but I think it's fixable. You know what I mean? I think it's very fixable. It's not like they're missing pieces. You know what I mean? In terms of offense, defense, they can definitely upgrade at CB2, but Chris Godwin will miss Monday Night Football against Detroit and Bucky Irving. I'm assuming Mike will too, but we'll see about that.
But I can't count on him to take me there. I can count on Jay because I've seen Jalen do it.
We'll talk about Baker later.
If I had one offensive line or one running back or one wide receiver room, 100%.
And that's where the grace comes on my end because again we seen Hurts do it already. And again, it's not even about Hurts. It's the Eagles. We've seen them do it. We've seen them go to the playoffs. We've seen them go to the playoffs. We've seen them go to the playoffs and win a Super Bowl. and go to a Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
I hear you. But we do have some super chats to get to. Jalen Gator 7 said, y'all think anyone gets suspended for the little scuffle at the end of the game, potentially hurting the Lions secondary even more?
What happened?
We got video right here.
Brian Branch
ended up just absolutely muffing Juju Smith-Schuster in the face.
Yo.
Now look at
Juju not gonna do nothing.
And this just caused an all-out brawl.
Why Juju fight his own
Oh,
teammate?
is he tackling him?
Juju, I mean, this is just not a look. Not a good
Juju,
look
now
for
all
Juju.
that to do what?
Yeah, just not a good look for Juju right there.
The problem is, bro.
Come on, back real quick.
Yeah, run it back.
Because
show
I'm
you
gonna
at the
get
beginning.
involved. So boy, that slap. Boom,
Juju
bang.
got a slappable
So
face,
I get the man jump like, all right.
It looked like he tried to flop and sell it, and it was like, nah, screw it, I'm gonna retaliate.
All right, what's up now?
You say Juju got a smackable face.
Definitely don't think it's a guarantee for the Chiefs like it used to be. I feel comfortable with the Chiefs. I'm not gonna lie, bro. In a playoff setting, I understand the Jags beat them. Do I trust the Jags in the playoffs to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? I don't. Do I trust who else they lost to this season? I don't know. Do I trust the Chargers to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? I don't. Do I trust no, I think they lost to the Eagles. But I don't trust these teams to beat them in the playoffs. Only teams I could trust to beat them in the playoffs really is the Bills. And that's even hard to say because the Bills haven't beat them in the playoffs. The regular season and the playoffs are two different seasons. You know what I mean? It's two different modes. So I can't really see. It's not so many teams I can see when the playoffs hit. Do these teams have enough? The Jags don't have a complete defense. The Chargers, they look iffy to me, but it's like they got potential, but I don't know. You can feel comfortable, but it's harder now. Yeah, I just excuse me. I just don't know what to expect from those teams when the playoffs hit, But I know what to expect from the Chiefs when the playoffs hit. They win in the playoffs, so.
What he did? He didn't even do it. What's he
didn't do anything.
Yeah. No, but I mean, to be honest with you, Brian Branch, this could be a suspension worthy thing. I mean, you see Juju Smith putting his hand out there.
Yeah, I think Branch gets suspended at least one game.
Bro,
I think it's gonna be one.
What's funny to me?
They can't afford any suspensions.
There's usually like a post-game rollover. Juju probably said something, did something slick during the game. Brian Branch said, "Don't worry, I'm gonna remember that." Brian Branch rolled up on him after the game, and he took care of what he wanted to take care of. I remember Aaron Donald during one game was waiting for the game to be over. Shady, you probably remember this. He grabbed his helmet, no shoulder pads on, and he went on the field and just charged up somebody. Players don't forget. If you try a player during a football game, make no mistake about it. When that game is over, they are coming for theirs.
Especially if they lost.
You got a close up?
Yeah, no, we got
a close up.
He went to
You'll
shake
see it
his
right
hand.
before. He literally went to go shake his hand. So look, Juju,
pull it up, Ron. Pull it up.
Juju screaming, doing his thing. He walks over to Brian Branch, puts his hands out.
Bam!
Boom, gets muffed right to the face.
But Juju acting though. Juju acting.
Is he acting?
Yeah. No, he flopped initially. He tried to sell it, make sure a ref seen it, make sure somebody seen it, and I think it clicked in his head. Wait, the game over with. I don't need a flop. And he tried to go get back at him. You got 4 teams in the AFC over the Chiefs. That is crazy. That's crazy.
Whatever you try to fall, yes,
all
exactly.
All that acting, bro.
Just don't act super tough and gangster though, and then put your hand out. Know what I mean? I respect that because he must have said some disrespectful, did something to him.
Regular season wise, I mean, you can make an argument, but his history repeats itself, and every year we get teams that start off good, and then when playoffs hit, they don't perform to how good their record is. They could be number 2, number 3 seed and not be that good. Not be the second best team in the conference or not be the first best team in the conference. You know what I mean?
Because you're not slapping nobody in the face for no reason.
Why'd he grab his helmet like that? I'm telling
I don't
you.
know.
You don't think Juju got a slappable face?
I'm not going to say another grown man got a slappable face. Does he do some slappable things?
That's
Maybe.
That's what I'm getting at. That's my point. Juju does all that. He be playing too much. He be playing too many games.
He's a little different.
Like, and I played with dudes in the locker room like JP. JP didn't like people who played all them games. Jason Peters and played 41 years. Shady knows JP Braithwaite. JP, if you played all them little silly games, JP wasn't about them little silly games.
Bro gonna say he played 41 years.
I don't know.
Damn, what? I was on the phone yesterday or 2 days ago. He was like, "Yeah, I played 21 years, but then it count my 21st year." I'm like, "What?" But real quick, when a player in the NFL, let me tell you something. When a player gets slapped in the face or something happens, they're doing something to cause that.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it,
you
Shady.
just hit me hard and I'm mad at you. Nah,
we your victim blaming
you must have
here.
said something disrespectful. Or
in the league, there is.
I don't mind that though.
I don't mind it
Some
at all.
dudes need to get a kick in the ass sometimes.
Also, when Bo gets back healthy, the Broncos got the best defense in that division. The only thing here is this is how I look at it though. Pat has been to AFC Championship, Super Bowl, whatever. He has faced, him and Andy Reid has faced elite defense after elite defense after elite defense after elite defense. So for me to believe like there's a defense out there that's going to really shut them down, it got to be a historically great defense. It got to be a Legion of Boom type defense. It got to be another level. You know what I mean? Like maybe like Saxonville or something like that. But they need the offense to match. And number one, the Broncos don't got the offense to match. You know? Like one game, the Broncos are good offensively, and then one game they iffy offensively. The Chiefs have been consistent offensively, and they have a good defense. And again, like I said, you put them in a playoff setting, they've already seen every defense that you could think of in today's NFL. So they've seen defenses better than, no offense, but the Broncos. I'm pretty sure they've seen defenses better than maybe the Texans, even though Texans are allowing an insane amount of points right now as far as like how little. I think that they're allowing 12 points a game right now. But I'm pretty sure they've seen some elite defenses, and it's not like, oh, this is something, they're doing something new, you know? It's like they're going to call up plays and ad-lib and figure it out how to beat these. Because same thing with Tom Brady, you know what I mean? Bro played for so long, he's seen there's a new elite defense this year, but we seen the same style of defense 5 years ago, you know what I mean? And it's just not something that they haven't seen before, you know? And that's where experience typically always wins, because we've seen this already. And what bigger game to play an elite defense in than a Super Bowl, where everything is on the line, and this is it, you know what I mean? And they played elite defenses in the Super Bowl, in the playoffs, you know. It's just, I think when it matters most, I think, you know, I default trust to them, especially with how they're looking right now, you know. Broncos was only off offensive last game because Bo was hurt. No, I'm not gonna lie. The first game against the Titans, again, and I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt, week one, but they didn't look great that game either. I can't think. Kept this video off.